Alright, here we are with the Florida lobster tail.
Do I have to hold it down?
No, just keep it on. You keep it on here. Okay. Most important thing is to get scissors, and you don't want the meat to thaw out too much. If you over thaw the meat, it's very high in iodine, and your meat will turn bad. So you want it to be just partially, just a little bit frozen before you cut it, but not too frozen. So initially put your scissors down the middle. You'll find an area that sort of splits the tail, and cut each joint slowly until you get to the very last joint. Okay, as you can see, we made it to the very last joint. At this point, it's very important that you break the last joint open. Break that joint open. Okay, now when you get to that point, you want to, in order to crack the tail, this is a very important part, not to butcher the meat. Put your fingers underneath the front of the meat. Very important. Peel back slowly with your fingers guiding it. There's a tissue that connects the meat to the shell that if you just try to tear it out, it will rip. Pull your meat all the way back to the tail without disconnecting it. And at the same time, close your shell back together. Flip your tail up. And you want to tuck just this little piece of meat that's hanging over down into the shell so it holds it together. At that point, you can take your knife and butterfly it down the center so it's nice and butterflied. Even. You don't want to cut all the way through though, so just do it nice and slow. If you see any vein left in there, discard the vein. Fan your tail out, and then to bake it, put it in a small shallow dish, baking dish of some sort, and you want to fill water up halfway up the shell. You don't want the water to touch the meat. So once you get, that'll provide a steam effect so the lobster doesn't dry out. You can season it with a little butter or olive oil, fresh lemon, a little salt and white pepper, or you can just use a little bit of Lowry seasoning salt on top of the olive oil or butter. So regardless, you'll put it in the oven at 400 degrees for anywhere from 5 to 6 minutes, or until the clearness goes away. Once the meat is all white and not opaque, your lobster is finished and it's ready to eat. Enjoy. Bon appetit. Merry Christmas. Okay, turn it off.